Good day, everyone. This is Chess Enthusiast. I am on my road to reaching 1600, and right now my rating is 1590. Now, in this game that I'm about to show you, it is the most craziest game I've ever played, and the most weird as well. I started the game with e4 because I love the Italian. He went with the Sicilian defense. I went with the knight out, and then he went with this. This is called the Sicilian defense open variation. So I went with d4. I didn't want to go for the bishop first. I want to go with d4 first. So now I takes back with the knight, and he went for this. Now this is all opening phase, all opening moves. Yeah, I went with the bishop trying to pin the knight, and of course it's gonna go with the bishop here. Now, the computer loves me to go to like knight c3, but I just wanted to exchange the knight in that set, and I just defended this pawn with knight c3. My opponent go with knight f6. Trying to attack this pawn, and I really didn't like the idea of defending my pawn with f3, because I want to castle maybe like this way, and maybe I'm gonna be pinned and the knight is going to be attacked somehow. So I didn't like it. What I decided to do, I go here with the bishop g5. The idea here, if he takes with the bishop, I'm just gonna take his knight, and if he takes my bishop, I'm just gonna win his bishop, and I am a piece up. Okay, and if he takes with the knight, I'm gonna go here, taking this bishop, threatening to win his queen. And if he takes my knight, I take his knight. So I'm winning a piece anyway. So he went there, and I went with knight takes c6. Knight takes c6, I'm just threatening to win his queen. And if he takes, I just win his knight. So my opponent go danger levels, knight c3. So yeah, if I take his queen, he takes. So look, if I take his queen, he's gonna take my queen. I take this pawn, he takes my pawn. I take his rook, he takes my rook. That's exactly what happened. This is what's called a brilliant move, knight takes f7, because if he takes with the king, I take with the rook and I castle. I got two rooks at the center of the board. My king is safe, his king is not that much of safe, and his bishop is really dead. So yeah, I'm more developed in this endgame, so I'm gonna have an advantage. So he took the pawn, which is a good move, and I take his rook, he takes my rook. Now, I went with bishop e3. Now, the idea of bishop b3 is when I'm going to castle, okay, the knight has no square to run to. This is the idea. So my opponent goes with this move e6, which is called an inaccuracy. I did that exactly, the idea. And now he went with this move. This is called a great move because, just developing your piece, that's a great move. I went with rook f1. And you might think that this is a mouse click, like a mouse. Yeah, it's not misclick. Sorry, a misclick. It's not a misclick. I don't want to take the knight and for him to move his king and win my knight somehow. So I just went here trying to get a runaway square for my knight, and maybe take with check. He takes back, and I'm gonna win his knight. Maybe that was the idea. Try to defend my knight in a way. Now he went with this really defensive move, which blocks the defender of the knight if he wants to go there. So I went with g4. g4, threatening to go g5, and the bishop is forced to go somewhere else, and I go with the knight here, and my knight is defended with the rook. This is my plan. He went with this move, which is a mistake, because now g5 has arrived. He went for bishop e5. Bishop e5, my idea was to go for a check. He moves somewhere else. I take this pawn. If he takes my pawn, I take this and this. So, and I have a way to get a queen. That was my idea. So I give a check. The king moves away, and I take this pawn, which is called a mistake. You miss an opportunity to win a tempo by threatening a knight. So the computer wanted me to go right there. The knight has no escape route, and I didn't want to have this. I just wanted to go for the pawns. And that's exactly what happened. Now he attacked my rook. And now king f8. I take the pawn. And now this is a mistake. Because now look. When this move, the bishop is hanging and the knight is hanging. So if you move the knight, I take the bishop. If you move the bishop, I take the knight. That was it. So he went here trying to think that when I take his knight, he's going to take my knight. But that's actually even worse. Because a check, he moves away and I win his rook as well. So I just give a check with the knight. He moves away. I take his knight, and my opponent resigned at this point. I played like 2250, and he played like an 1800. This game was really, really nice and weird because of the knight, like the knight sequence. Let me show you that again. Let's go back to the beginning of the game. Here, I take. So look, takes bishop, knight, queen, queens are off, the pawns are off, the rooks are off. Everything was exchanged by these two pieces, and every knight has took like 18 points of material by one piece, one knight. Imagine that. So that was the game. I hope that you enjoyed it and you learned something from it. And thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna see you in the next video.